Otherworldlyculture.com presents Now Streaming.
Now streaming, Suzy says hooray! Suzy all the way. Now streaming every single day. Suzy, come and play.
Good evening, and thank you for joining Now Streaming, part of Otherworldly Culture's Dead on Thursdays. If you wanted to grace us with your presence, please join our live chat by clicking on the live shows link on the otherworldlycultures.com website. Otherworldly Culture's Dead on Thursdays currently consists of 3 rotating shows. Alternating weeks, you will see Dead on Bases, the horror sports mashup, Dead on Movie Reviews, horror movie reviews filled with lively debate, and Now Streaming, a glitter-filled train wreck presided over by yours truly, Suzy Snowflake, a.k.a. the Ice Princess, and tonight I've been deemed the Gorilla as well, where we have a panel discussion on whatever movie I feel like babbling about, as long as it can be found on a free ad-supported streaming service, and as long as the great and the powerful doesn't reject it. Tiaras and cosplay are not required, but always encouraged, the sparklier the better. And because most men have a fear of commitment, it's not just the shows that rotate, but my court of critics does as well. Tonight's loyalish subjects include the knight in shining hockey masks, Tim Godak, fellow convention enthusiast and owner of Darkside Collectibles, a new sci-fi and horror specialty shop in Plumboro, located right outside of Pittsburgh. Hi, Timmy! Yay! We also have the noble steed and a herd of trick ponies, Mr. Marcus Jones, another fellow convention enthusiast and Ohio's most eligible and most honorable bachelor. Woot woot! Hi, Marcus.
Hi.
Of course, we cannot forget, hiding behind the lights, the camera, and the action, ready to pull the plug at any moment, we have the legend who brings us all together, the great and the powerful Tim Kretschmann. So great, so powerful that I must now say the following. Stumbling from the murky, moss-filled cemeteries of Muskego, Wisconsin, he is the brightest light in the sea of stars in the solar system. He is the most dapper, the most marvelous, the best fella, the greatest mentor a little princess could ever have. There is no need to wish upon a star with a fairy godmother when you have a producer such as he. As the webmaster for Otherworldly Cultures, he has the extreme responsibility of maintaining the world's blah, 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 something. I don't know. I don't care. He is the host of Dead on Bases, where he consistently tries to steal the spotlight from my cohort in crime, who is not with us tonight, the jazzy jester, Jeffy Miller. Hi, Timmy. Or Tim, not Tim.
Yeah, there's a Timmy and a Tim. Okay. Well, thanks, Suzy, but I'm not going to be thanking you for this movie, but go ahead and start up.
Well, you're wrong, so you can hush. On to tonight's movie, we have The Devil and the Daylong Brothers. It can be found for free on Fawesome, Plex, Tubi, and Roku, yes.
Yep.
Or you can rent or buy it on Prime Video. It was released the beginning of January 2025, simultaneously in streaming and as a limited release in theaters. It is 1 hour and 52 minutes. It's a westerny, southern goth, supernaturally actiony musical. That's basically, I don't know how else you would explain it. Anyone?
A complete train wreck comes to mind.
Like this show. To recap, it is 3 brothers, all have different mamas, the same daddy who sold their soul to the devil for personal gains, then he disappeared on their asses. They now work for the devil, collecting on the souls of people who made the same type of deal as their deadbeat dad, in hopes to seek revenge on the dickwad that he is and get their souls back. And they do all of this while being blood-soaked and, best of all, breaking out into song.
Or you could just say, Papa was a Rolling Stone who went down and met the devil in Georgia.
Okay, well then, there you go. Thank you, Marcus. So the characters, during the first song, they're in a westerny bar, which I thought was great. The brothers are introduced, and they're very much like in a TV show, I would think. Do you guys agree? Like, when you're watching a
Yeah,
TV show,
they showed them on screen, and they had who was playing each of them, and they all got their little moment. Yeah.
And that gave me the very needed feels that I've been missing since the show Supernatural, and it felt very much like that.
Did remind me of Supernatural.
Yeah.
One of the first thought. Well, an attempted Supernatural.
I was just mad that it was a musical. I didn't know going into it that it was a musical. I don't hate musicals, but when I want to see butt kicking, I want to see butt kicking. I don't see butt kicking with a rhythm and rhyme.
You're wrong. The butt kicking musical was the best part. Like, I thought this was ingenious. It was amazing.
Dude, there was moments where he's literally going, "I'm going to punch you," and then cock it back, and it's like, just punch him.
And wow! Imagine me
Definitely
singing with my
give a positive spin on things, but the instant I heard it was a musical, I also thought to myself, this is going to be rough. One type of movie I have a hard time with personally, it's musicals. Yeah, and if there's another form of music that I also have a hard time with, and I know a lot of people are fans. I'm not a fan of country music, but this is more of a country folk rock sort of, so it was a little different. But that being said, we'll give our takes. But in general, yeah, when I first turned this on, I thought we're in trouble.
Well, I actually had the opposite reaction because I do enjoy musicals to a good extent. Unfortunately, the musical style that was used here, I really didn't care for. And frankly, they're breaking into song every 5 minutes, and all the songs sounded pretty similar. And
that's all I'm saying.
That was my biggest issue.
Songs. They were great.
Why don't you sing one for us there? They're not memorable. That's what I'm saying. Like, I came out of the movie Frozen. I bring this up all the time. And I already knew what the hit song was going to be. I mean, I knew what the hit song was going to be and what every little kid was going to be singing for the next year. At first, I liked it. And then, of course, they overdid it like Disney always does. But I knew, okay, this is a song that's different. It's really being pushed. This is the song. These songs were all generic, in my opinion. I don't think they were poorly done. In fact, I thought this was a very well-produced movie. The lighting was all good. All the effects were good, that sort of thing. But, the music.
I was very surprised watching it that it wasn't more of a... in the theater release, go see this. Like, it wasn't pushed more like that because it was extremely well done in that regard. I
think they had a decent budget, or at least the producer knew where to put the money. The problem I had, and I'll be interested what you other guys have to say about it, but I had to turn on those subtitles with a quickness. It was ridiculous. They were speaking some form of heightened hillbilly, is what I'm going to call it. It was like they were trying to do Shakespeare with hillbilly accents. And
especially Enoch. Yes.
Luckily, it was a pretty simple storyline. So after a while, I just stopped listening. I was like, okay, he's going to say blah, 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 and that one's going to say blah, 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 blah. And that's all there is to it. Because really, there were long scenes where there were long pieces of dialogue. And I'm like, did anything get resolved? Or did I learn anything? And the answer was no.
They ran around singing and killing people. That's all you need to know. Just follow what they were doing.
Well, I've been called out, by the way, that Frozen is a movie on a ski lift.
That's my version of Frozen.
I agree. The movie wasn't terrible in that sense. It had its fun moments. It had its action moments. It was just, I think they did cram a lot of music in it. And like he said,
I don't think they had enough music.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be a musical, I'm like Tim. I want the song to get stuck in my head to the point where it's like, like
Right.
I want to hum it. I want to think about it. That type of deal. And there wasn't that. There was more of like this was like a play. And when I think of plays that have this kind of rhythm, I think of like how to become successful in business without really trying. And that had a premise of the music was catchy. The music had a little more nuance to it where like it fit in throughout the story, but it wasn't jammed. And that I compared to this, and this was like, oh, we're going to fight somebody. And then they sang about it, fought, and then probably after a good conversation, they sang again. And you're like, well, what happened?
Well, it's too big of a tone shift, right? Yeah. I mean, because all the music was, I'm going to say kind of laid back, I thought, kind of, folksy and sitting on the front porch, swinging on a rocking chair or something like that. It was very folksy, relaxed. And then what are they doing in the next scene? They're shooting somebody at point blank range. And it's like, that doesn't fit. If you're going to do the shooting thing, then the song that leads up to it should be, kind of kick-ass, more rocky, more, rocky, I don't know about Sylvester Stallone, but, a more rocking...
Don't bring Stallone into this.
...type of thing. Well, we're being asked...
I will say, I'm totally serious because you are all wrong on the musical part. But I'm ignoring all of you because I have to say, though, I feel like the casting of the brothers was all spot on. I feel like they really worked well together and off of each other. And you guys probably all disagree with me on that, but you're wrong.
I actually thought the acting was good, but I think the accents were a little extreme. They were a little extreme.
The whole movie was extreme, though.
The acting was a little over dramatic at times, but then when you realize that they're performers and they're singing, you kind of realize why they have that over dramatization, and you're like, okay.
I kind of, in my mind, I ran with the fact that it was
very insightful to me.
So they're going to be a little more animated.
Yes.
Yeah. But the three brothers, I don't know if I'm saying the one guy's name right. Neekon, I don't know, Robinson, Jordan Bolden, and Brendan Bradley. Apparently, they've all been in a ton of shit. I've never seen anything that they've done. But if you go to IMDb, they've all been in a ton of stuff. They're very accomplished actors, writers, and producers themselves. And the one guy, Marcus, you would like because he does a lot of gaming.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well,
and then, obviously, their dad needed no introduction. He was played by Keith Carradine, who's in pretty much.
Right.
He's one of those guys that's in every.
Bundy from Dexter. That's what
Well, I mean, the IMDb index is at a 12. And what I mean by that is you have to get down to the 12th person in the cast before you get one of those little generic pictures that somebody's photo isn't in IMDb, which is pretty good for a movie that's definitely an indie. This is a first-time director. He did some shorts before this, but this is like his first real feature, if I'm reading all this correctly.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. He got actual actors to participate in a film that I don't think they spent a lot on, but it looks really good considering what I'm sure is some budgetary difficulties that they had.
Yeah, there were definitely some beautiful shots. Yeah, definitely.
And the soundtrack was by composer Nicholas Kirk, and I'm sorry, he wrote all of the songs, and y'all are wrong. They were all great, catchy songs, and someone needs to find this for me on vinyl, because I want to own it. I would sit there with my bourbon and listen to that every night.
If only you knew somebody that got collectibles for movies that knew how to do that sort of thing. If only you knew somebody like that.
Well, on comparison, that's all it takes. Just saying. I did notice.
Yes.
What?
Hit received.
I did notice, though, them on IMDb, because, I mean, where else do you go to look up stuff besides IMDb when it comes to movies, other than the Google? But it didn't really have that much stuff. Like, there's not that much about this movie out there. None of the little trivias or...
Well, it's a first-time director. It was very low budget. I felt they had as much trivia as I would expect for a movie like this. Actually, I thought it was more than I expected. So, I wasn't too surprised by that. And it does look, to me, it looks like this director, Brandon McCormick. I think this was a short film that he expanded, because he has like 5 or 6 shorts to his name before I take that back. He has 25 shorts that he directed.
Everybody on the list. Yeah.
So, but they're all shorts. One TV movie, Roanoke Search for the Lost Colony. But everything
sounds like one we gotta watch, guys.
So I mean, I'm not surprised that there wasn't a lot of trivia or something like that on it. Yeah, but they're legitimate actors that were taking part.
One of the standout performances for me and the characters was actually Francine.
No, you're wrong.
See, I actually kind of enjoyed her a little bit. She was quippy, and I kind of enjoyed her.
We talking about Frankie?
Well, of course you did.
Until she was brought to her ultimate demise.
Listen.
I literally have on my random thoughts. No, go ahead, Mr. Marcus. Go ahead.
No, it's good. Listen, all I have to say, he made a comment about her demise. I called it a minute before it happened. I was like, that's a good silhouette shot. It would be cool if he just did that. And then he did it. And I was like, that's the best scene in the movie.
It was actually a beautiful shot.
Yes. That was the most creative.
I will say, speaking about being beautiful, I will give her this, though, because I didn't like her character, but she is absolutely beautiful and talented, like in real life. So when
unnecessary.
What?
The character was kind of unnecessary.
But I wanted to give that disclaimer first before I complain about her character.
She added a little bit of liveliness that to the movie.
I don't think she did. I think her character was pointless.
I think what she was supposed to be is the one that isn't one of these 3 brothers, so that they would have to explain things a little bit, because the 3 brothers are all on the same page. What I couldn't get over is that these 3 brothers didn't act like brothers very much. If you want to see how brothers actually interact, I would direct you to see a wonderful documentary called Strange Brew, where there are 2 brothers that act very much like brothers. There's just constant bickering.
Well,
and they're bickering, they're pulling out guns,
They only half acted like brothers. But as far as Francine, I just don't think she gave anything additional to the movie. And if you took out her scenes, then the movie wouldn't be quite 2 hours, and it didn't need to be 2 hours.
Yeah, she was like the first half of Marvel Endgame.
So no offense to her, because she's beautiful and she's talented in real life, but she gave no additional anything to this movie. There wasn't even a boob shot for you guys. Like, she was fully clothed through all of it. You could have deleted her. It would have been like an hour and 40 minutes, and it would have been perfect.
Well, it's just like they tried to give her not like a plot armor, but like a plot push, in the sense of like, oh, she could help us with this. Oh, she could do this. But everything she did led to like a dead end.
Yeah.
To the point where that's why I thought that silhouette shot of her demise was so critical and important, because it kind of like, if you're sitting there watching the movie, you're like, man, get this chick out of here. She ain't doing nothing. All of a sudden, boom. Oh, I guess he listened. I guess he heard me.
I think her whole role was, if you noticed, she had like special spotlight scenes with each of the brothers. That was for them to bring out what their character was. But frankly, I was bored by a lot of that.
I actually thought that was going to turn, where maybe able to turn them against each other. But like the first person that she was involved with, that really she really pissed him off. I'm not trying to spoil it.
Yeah.
He ended up being the one crying over her the most, and I was like, oh, wait,
Right.
she was just...
Right. It could have been a 52 pickup type scenario that would have been really cool, and that opportunity was squandered. No question about it.
I will say, getting back to the credits though at the beginning, I love the fact that they even gave the car a credit.
Yes.
You know, in the very beginning when they were putting it together. Yeah,
The
that was
1958 Chrysler Imperial as Grace.
Well, you notice too that not all the letters were on the Imperial and what it read out. Peril. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
I thought the car was the best part personally.
We can all agree on that one.
I also like whenever he kept arguing to drive and then he got 2 feet.
And his trash cans.
I thought that was good.
Oh my
Hey, look,
Lord.
we all agree on something. Yay!
Oh, that's boring.
All right, Dukes, I see what you said. The awe moment was important. That was a good awe moment.
My only other random thought was that, because again, I keep going back to how this is very supernatural, like not supernatural, the meaning, like the TV show Supernatural. So I feel like this would have been a great limited series TV show. And I won't spoil how the movie ends, but how it ends is like the perfect setup for the second season kind of thing.
And I don't know that I could
see
take that many hours of this.
Oh, hush. I could see this being a TV show where every episode, you know, they're hunting down one more person that they got to kill off to find their dad. And then, you know, I think that would be a neat one. They should do
That show.
Yeah, I would watch that shit.
Called Supernatural. We could just watch that.
I love. Well,
Yeah, why not watch something good instead of this?
And that hits
The
too.
first 5 seasons of Supernatural were the best. Like my cat.
Be careful now.
My cat Walker and Winchester named after them, for goodness sakes. So, but the ending, the show went on. I watched every single episode because if I invested that much time of my life into it, I'm gonna watch all of it. I'm gonna see it through. But the last few seasons did suck.
Yeah, when they got to Oz, I was like, oh.
Well, I mean, when they were hanging out with the Scooby Gang, you kind of
right.
Or when Crowley wasn't on anymore, like, cause he, you know, and they had to have someone else over. Hell, like, no, that just wasn't good. But anyway, I digress. We're not talking about the movie Supernatural. We can have that as an episode some other time. Like, we can do a Supernatural retrospective or something. Oh, come on, it would be great. Shush. Hush. I love you, Marcus. You're the bestest.
Who's watching all that?
I was just thinking that I haven't seen a single episode of the show. I'm not
Don't do it.
I'm not going to be watching 9 seasons or something.
We can just pick out some of like the top episodes and talk about those ones.
All right.
Anyways, moving on. Does anyone else have anything, or are we rating it now? I have no idea. I've lost track. See, you got me talking about Supernatural and all else lost.
I definitely did like some of the cinematography. Like even after the shot with Francine, it panned up to the trees and it did like a wide pan of the. You know, I thought it was a very beautiful shot. I will definitely give it that. There were definitely some nice color palettes throughout used throughout the movie that kind of impressed me.
100%.
Low budget.
Yeah, whoever was operating the camera, the cinematographer, gorgeous. I don't know where they shot this. I don't know if anybody saw that anywhere, but where they shot it was gorgeous. It's just beautiful countryside. And apparently the cinematographer or the special effects guys thought it needed more red because they just sprayed blood all over everything.
Yeah, I think they did a very good job with the atmosphere of like the car, the design of the clothes, what they were wearing, the animation of the characters towards the camera. I really liked that because it kind of gave them like more of an animated type of angle to emphasize their actions. I like that, and like you said, the bar shots, driving down this road, I did enjoy that. It was picked well and shot very well.
I thought the speech at the end I was kind of unique too. I mean, it was I've heard it before in a similar movie, but I can't think of where. But the whole fact of what the devil is, in the blues, you've got to for the blues, And I thought that was kind of an interesting little bit at the end there that you pull it together. But you need Frank Lundy from Dexter to pull that off.
Oh, speaking of the ending, it's very anticlimactic.
Yeah, I was very disappointed. I don't want to ruin anything, but I was very disappointed with. Well, are we ready to?
Well, they tell you in the story. The story is they got to find their dad, right? And it's not a question that they find the dad because we already told everybody it's Keith Carradine playing it. The thing is, they find him, and I don't think they know what to do. Mm-hmm. Right? The story just kind of goes, all right.
Yeah, and that's where they lost me.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, if I sold not one, not two, but 3 of my children's souls to the devil, I'd have a better house than he did. I would have.
Especially for what he wanted.
Yeah. I like, what the hell, dude? You made the worst deal ever. This is terrible.
It worked for Bob Dylan.
I mean, they definitely could have killed Bill that made it a little more like he was doing a lot better and a lot better off and happy, and that wasn't it.
Yeah, but that was part of it. He did all that. He sold out all of his kids for what though? That's why you don't make deals with the devil. Why
the devil gives you exactly what you ask.
Oh, the more you know, coming out of Thuggerella over there.
The more you know.
The best I have is this.
See, and how is this not encouraging me? He complains about these things, but he encourages.
I complain about everything. You should be aware of this by now.
Gosh. Ugh.
Is it time for us to discuss where we watch this?
No, we have to rate the movie first, and then.
Oh, we rate first? Okay.
Yes, we rate the movie first, and then we go on to the streaming sites.
Okay, and I got to press a button. We're going into grading?
Yes. Who wants to go first?
There we go.
I'll go.
Okay, go.
Okay, so overall, I didn't really get excited for the musical aspect. The action was somewhat entertaining. The characters were entertaining for what their roles were, being funny or emotional. The actors were great in that sense. Like I said, we talked about the designs in the background, art, cinematography. I loved all that. Would I tell someone to watch it once? Yes. Would I tell them to watch it twice? No. It's a one and done. I would definitely give it like a B minus.
Okay, we need an emoji.
I asked you last night. Do you remember the grading scale?
What? No, you didn't specify. You just said we were going to talk about all the details.
Marcus, do not make me pull out my text messages from you.
I read it before we started.
Okay. Marcus, the 3 choices are thumbs. The 6 choices are thumbs up, love, like a heart, laughing, haha, wow, sad, or angry.
Oh man, I'll give it a thumb.
All right.
I legit said we don't do stars or letter grades. Do you remember how we rate it, or do I need to tell you?
Suzy,
and you didn't text me back.
Suzy,
I've been dealing with a lot.
Hush, Suzy. I'll go next because I don't think anybody's going to be shocked about this one. Pure unadulterated anger. Unadulterated anger. This was not my movie. I'm sure there is an audience for this film. I am not it.
Me, I am the audience.
All right, my turn.
It is your show.
Your turn.
All right, I do have to be honest. I'm going to go with probably the sad face. I'm kind of like Marcus. I kind of judge a movie based on whether or not I would recommend it to someone to watch once or twice, or not. I would rewatch it. This is one I don't think I would rewatch. I don't even know. Like a couple movies we've done in the past, I've said, "Hey, Mom, check these out," and my mom will watch them with me. This is one I told her, "Don't worry, catch the next one." So for me, but Bing's musical, it just wasn't my cup of tea. Wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but I have to go with the sad face. And
well, y'all are just wrong. Everyone, I missed how you graded it, so I'm just saying you're wrong.
I mean, you are the common denominator.
Listen, bro. Well, me personally, I'm the only one that matters on this one tonight. To quote IMDb, I had to write this quote down because it's very important. IMDb says, if you're a fan of films that fuse supernatural horror with Southern folklore and a dose of gritty musical storytelling, this one's worth streaming. Just be ready for a ride that is as unsettling as it is unforgivable. Unforgettable, forgivable, whichever. Anyway, they legit describe the movie made for me. I forgive the runtime being over my preferred 1 hour and 30-some minutes because the three brothers make the 2 hours that endurable. There's 2 hours of eye candy. I'll take it. I am disappointed in the rushed, cliched ending. I do agree with the great and the powerful that it's hard to understand the dialogue sometimes. But outside of the runtime, it checked all of my boxes for a great movie, and y'all are wrong, it made me want to sing along. So hush, hush, hush. Mark this one for the record. I only checked my phone during this movie 2 times. Twice. Cool. That's huge for me. And both of those times were in the same 20-minute little thing. So whatever. Me personally, I give it a happy, happy, happy face. That is 3 happy faces, 1 for each brother.
All right.
Is there a middle finger emoji?
Let's even change.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that. Is there a middle finger emoji up there a little bit longer? Though we do have a nice tragic in there too. So.
Now, the best part of this movie, I'm ignoring all of you now, is that it is on enough streaming services that it finally worked tonight to where we were all able to watch it on a different free streaming service. Yeah. So literally anyone in the world can watch this because there's that many options. So
there
it's
is.
just a matter of which one was the best one to watch it on.
Okay.
I have stats, but Marcus, what did you think of Tubi?
Tubi was good. They only had 2 commercials per set, and I think the first commercial didn't kick off till almost maybe 40 to 50 minutes in.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I was shocked.
You were well invested into it before it cut.
Yes, I was shocked. But then that was the problem. Once those 2 started, I think it was maybe 15, 20 minutes later, another one, and then same thing afterwards. And then I ended up getting I think 6 or 7 commercials. They weren't bad. They would be maybe 30 seconds to 40 seconds long, and then they would cut to the next one. I mean, it wasn't bad. Tubi didn't do me dirty. I would definitely use Tubi again to watch a movie. So,
how was the picture quality?
It was very good, very clear. The same thing I'm using to talk to you guys right now. I was playing it on my tablet. That's why I enjoyed the vibrant colors, the colors that it did offer. Tubi did not skip on playing it. No interruptions, no lagging, buffering. It was fine. I was shocked. Tubi gets a bad rep sometimes because how janky it is. Overall performance, movie production, everything else, but it did pretty good.
Timmy, what'd you watch it on?
I watched it on Plex. I didn't have any issues as far as picture quality or sound quality. They were both phenomenal. Not a problem at all. The commercial breaks were actually pretty well spaced out. I believe about a total of 7, and I believe it was pretty much split. I think the first hour had 3, and then the last hour had 4. But the unfortunate thing for me was that the runtime of the commercials were all 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so I ended up having 19 extra minutes of commercial time. So once again, it took me the longest to watch the movie to get through it.
I was wrong with that. Believe it or not, mine was longer because I took one for the team and I watched it on Fawesome. Which again, Fawesome is my new find that I put on late at night when I'm trying to sleep because I know it has a gazillion. You can have an hour and a half movie and it takes you 3 hours because of everything that they put in there. So I did. My runtime beat yours by, what was it? Let me see. Oh, no. Yours was wrong. I lied. Yours was longer by 8 seconds.
On Plex?
Yeah. Plex was 8 seconds longer than Fawesome. So that's...
On Plex also, it would let you know, it would say commercial coming in 5, 4, 3, which was kind of nice because you knew it was coming. But it only did that a few times. It didn't do that consistently. Figure that out.
Now, Tubi, did it like cut off when you were in the middle of a scene that was just the worst timing to cut out, or did you not pay attention, Marcus?
To what? It cut when it segued to a commercial?
Yeah.
It would show a little thing at the bottom indicating that it was coming, like he said, like a countdown, but it was very quick. And it would play the commercial, and sometimes I would blink and like I was doing something else real quick during the commercial, and all of a sudden the movie would start right back up.
But did it cut out in the middle of a scene, or did it wait for like a good scene ending?
Oh, sometimes it didn't matter. Sometimes it cut out in the middle of a scene. Sometimes it's right after a scene ended, and then it would do it like a segue. Mm-hmm.
And then Timmy,
the placements for my commercials were pretty good, except for at the very end. I had a commercial right in the middle of one of those fine musical numbers. I thought that was a lot. Lost the whole vibe. I was getting down, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute. So, but other than that, they were pretty
that's
good.
Sarcasm, Susie. That is sarcasm.
check your face. Fawesome is all over the place. Sometimes it does it at the end of the scene. Sometimes it does it in the middle. Sometimes it'll do it 2 minutes after it already did another one. But the picture quality is phenomenal. Much more than apparently my computer is. But yeah, picture quality on Fawesome. What? Oh yeah, I'm gonna use my tablet. No, I'm not using my tablet next time. I'm using Timmy's store next time.
Well, in the future.
Okay, in the future. But the picture quality with Fawesome is great. So it's kind of like, but yeah. Oh well, great and powerful. I'll let you speak.
Why? Thank you. I used the Roku channel. I have a Roku television, so it's very easy for me to go onto Roku.
What if you don't have a Roku television? Because I've never used Roku in my life.
If you have a Roku player, you also have access to it. But I believe all the streamers allow you access to Roku channel.
So I have a Fire TV. I can download.
I believe so. It should be an app that you can get at. But I don't know. Maybe Amazon's got a thing against it or something. But Roku has a remarkable amount of stuff on there. The one thing...
And how is it?
Okay. The picture quality is spectacular. When I watch something on Roku, it's second only to Amazon Prime on all my streaming channels. It isn't like a 4K, but I'd be shocked if it isn't a 1080. It's a really good picture quality, and it had full surround, which Tubi I know is only stereo. And for most of the movies I watch on Tubi, that's fine. If you're watching, an old Abbott and Costello movie or something like that, stereo, I'll be fine, right? But if you're watching like a real recent type of thing, there is an advantage to the Roku channel. However, the ad breaks are almost every 10 minutes. The problem is they're every 10 minutes and they're like 2 minutes long. Oh. I'm an elderly person. I can't get to the bathroom and back in time in 2 minutes. So I had to cross my legs there for the last 30 minutes of this damn thing that just kept going and going and going. I would rather that they have less breaks and more ads per break than these little micro breaks. But having said that, all of the ads were placed in a way where it wasn't in the middle of a song, it wasn't in the middle of a fight scene. They found boring spots to move off to. However, that's like shooting fish in a barrel with this movie. There it is. But it was at a natural scene break each time. It was a natural scene break. So somebody must have watched it and placed it, because a couple of times they started a song right at like the 10 minutes, and I'm like, are they going to screw this up? And they waited until the song was over and then cut. So I was happy with that side of thing. I do recommend Roku above Tubi, though I think Tubi's content directory is just unbelievable. I'm always telling people to check Tubi for content.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if we really have a winner though, because they all have their ups and downs.
They all do. You know, the question is, you know, like if you have a crummy, you know, your internet isn't too good. I always tell people go for the Tubi, because it sacrifices the sound by, you know, it's just a stereo instead of a 5.1, but that cuts down the file size dramatically. So you'll get a much better picture over on Tubi if you have less bandwidth. I'm getting real geeky, but there you go. With Roku, if you got the bandwidth, you will get a better picture quality. You will get better sound quality.
Well, is it easy to find a movie on Roku? Because with Tubi, it's really easy to just like click, click, click. Fawesome, it's a very, very annoying and hard to navigate. Plex,
I find Roku pretty easy. Particularly, they have it curated, and once you've watched a couple of things, it does a pretty good job of picking things that says, I think you'd be interested in this. It hasn't figured out that I'm not interested in Space 1999 yet. It keeps serving that one to me. But it's fairly decent at that side of things. The other plus that Tubi and Roku have that I'm not sure Fawesome has, you can go on the website, and if you have an account, you can go on the website, find stuff, put it in your save list, and then
find it for later.
And then sit down and you can just play it off your watch list.
I haven't figured it out yet. But what about Plex? Because Timmy, I always forget about Plex.
What was the question about Plex though?
How easy is it to find a movie on Plex?
Oh, was it easy to find them? Oh, yes, yeah. No, I didn't have any problem at all finding it on Plex. Yeah, I actually just searched up Daylong Brothers or Devil and Daylong, and it popped up pretty quick. Yeah, I didn't. And then actually, the first night I put it on to kind of check it out, I did not log in. I did it as a guest. I went back the next day to watch the movie, and it was still actually accessible from my continue watching, and I just restarted it. So I didn't have any problem finding it.
And you said you could do that as a guest. You didn't need an account to do it.
Right. I did not log in. I just continued as a guest. Correct.
Yeah. You know, the thing with Plex is that's built to have people be able to stream their own movies, but a lot of people don't know that it has that fast aspect that you can grab a lot of movies directly from it. And I have found really strange shows sometimes available there that aren't available anywhere else.
That'd be good to check out, especially now that some movies are getting old enough where they're getting released of their, not their contracts, but
their exclusivity with Netflix.
Yes, sir, yeah.
A lot of them dropped out of there. Well, I found... Now, this is really getting into weird stuff, but there was a TV series, the first TV series that AMC ever put together was something called Remember When, WENN. And it was about the 1940s and a radio station, a screwball comedy and all this stuff. I don't think it ever went out on DVD. I don't think it ever went on VHS. It showed up on Plex. Keep in mind, AMC has its own streaming service called AMC Plus. Not there. It's over on Plex for some reason. So there's some real oddball stuff on there. It's worth taking a look through there, and things pop up randomly over there.
And I have noticed, like you said about the exclusivity, there's a lot of movies now that even a year ago would only be on this one or this one, and now if it's on one free one, it's almost like we had 5 different options to watch this movie.
Yeah, this is.
You're seeing that more and more now.
I think when it goes to the fast streaming services, it does tend to show up in more than one place because they're just getting the ad revenue off of it. Timmy, we're getting a question from the chat room here. That volume thing behind you is as cool as hell. What is that behind you?
That is my Death Star light panel. Yeah, and it's set to music. You can turn it on to solid light where it can react to sound, which is what I have it here for the podcast. So yeah, see, it's
you're going to break that thing if you allow Suzy to come into that room, because it'll just be maxed out the entire time with how loud and annoying she is.
But yet you still have me coming back. Who is the fool here?
But thank you to the person who said that they thought that was cool. Appreciate it.
That was Media Ghost. Media Ghost said that. Where did he get it? He got it at a place called Dark Side Collectibles.
Yeah, which I will be ravishing one day.
Yeah, they're actually surprisingly hard to get right now. They seem to be selling out everywhere.
Is this where we're moving into this shameless plug portion of
Yeah, I can get that set up in just a second. Let me hit some buttons.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Suzy, if you don't mind, I'll take the horror realm thing here because I know what things we're allowed to say and not allowed to say. Oh, jeez. And that still showed up. Dang it. We're going to go here. We have already released. We have released 4 different panel interviews already on our channel. The Return of the Living Dead panel with Miguel Nunez and Beverly Randolph. The Thanksgiving panel with Karen Cleach and Alex Armbruster. And the interviews with Nick Nemeth and Allison Court. And coming on Saturday is going to be live. We are going to have the Women in Horror with Barbara Crampton, Diana Prince, and Lisa Schrag. That is all coming on Saturday.
Oh, so sad you missed it, Marcus.
Stop.
Well, luckily he will be able to take part in that and watch it on YouTube. So it'll be like you were there, except more lame.
Yes.
Just a reminder, next week we do have Dead On Movie Reviews is coming up next week. And Now Streaming will be coming back in about a month from now. And Timmy, we're going to go to you. Why don't you tell us all about Dark Side Collectibles?
Yeah, Dark Side Collectibles is a horror sci-fi store, collectible store located in Plum Borough on Golden Mile Highway, also known as Route 286. It's here 10 minutes from the convention center where Still City Con was. So right down the highway, easy to get to. Stop on by. We have everything from Trick or Treat Studios and NECA figures to local artists, all in one place. We just recently partnered up with Sideshow Collectibles, so I'm going to be bringing Sideshow Collectibles into the building also. So lots of great things coming, and yeah, we'd love to have everybody down to visit.
Now, if I buy something online, do you ship?
Actually, we do not have online. We only have in-store purchasing at the moment.
That's right.
I am going to begin online. Obviously, if you want to stay pertinent, you have to have online. So we'll absolutely be getting into that here shortly. But for right
you guys
now,
better get in there and buy stuff before I buy it all.
But for you, my friend, we can make anything happen.
Do you still have room for other local artists that are still looking to get in, or are you maxed out?
I always have room. I've been merchandising for over 30 years, so if it doesn't look like I have room, I find it. So yeah, if there's any artist who's out there who has great work and they're looking to become part of the Dark Side team, all they have to do is contact me on darksidecollectibles.net. It's info@darksidecollectibles.net. Reach out, send me a message on Facebook or Instagram as well, and I would love to talk to you. We've been working with many great artists already, so it's been exciting. So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to add the big name, big house brands with a lot of local artists all in one place, give them a place to actually show their work and not have to wait for a convention or for some special event to actually be able to show off their artists. Their amazing work. So that's what we're doing.
I got you, Deuce. I'm taking you with me. We're gonna go shopping. We're going shopping. Here's the thing. Everybody here knows me well enough to know I mean it.
That might be a nice date night, Marcus. You could find your little lady, bring her out. Just saying.
Yeah, I was wondering when that was coming.
All right, Suzy, you got me.
I was actually at a thing over this weekend, Marcus. I think you would have enjoyed. It was the Midwest Gaming Classic. It is a convention in Milwaukee. It's got a couple 100,000 square feet of space. They do every type of gaming you can think of there. They have everything from card games, board games. They had speed Rubik's Cube solvers there. They had over 100 pinball machines set to free play. They had a museum of console gaming units. So things from the 1970s. I got to show somebody a little bit how to play E.T. on the 2600. It's just, there was a LARPing room. So there was a lot of different stuff there. It was really a cool convention, but the problem is it's all the way in Milwaukee. Luckily, we do produce some of the finest beers in the country, so it kind of takes the sting out of it. I did get a question about what LARPing is. It's live action. What is it? Live action
role playing.
Yeah, role
It's
playing.
basically cosplay, but LARPing has been around a lot longer than cosplay.
Yeah, and they were like full on. There were sword fights going on in that room, and there was another place where people were taking lightsabers. They had high quality lightsabers that you could actually hit each other with, and yeah, they did it. They were beating on each other pretty good, actually. And
long before the internet was around, people would LARP and get into full costumes and just go meet each other out in the woods and, like you said, have.
Now they call it cosplaying.
Yeah.
well, there's more to the LARPing thing than just cosplay.
LARPing, you actually get into like
The role.
fights and that. Yeah,
Wasn't like the Embraced, wasn't there a vampire LARPing thing? Masquerade, the Embraced or something like that? That was like huge.
LARPing was the thing when people would actually leave their houses and run around and get together and like, it says live action role play, so you would reenact scenes and things.
It did appear to be chaos. Yeah.
What?
It appeared to be chaos. Leaving the house is always chaos.
Now people only leave to go to conventions, so then they dress up in costumes, and you have your cosplayers.
I will say, because of my advanced age, I had to rest after this. It was way too much visual stimulation for me in one day. They even had a wrestling ring set up, but they weren't wrestling when I was there. So it was amazing.
Just stole Marcus's heart now. That little lady of his has to watch out.
I just told her that you wanted me to take him Timmy's store.
Yep. Pizza's on me. I can't wait to meet her. I'm sure she's a lovely lady. She better be, because if any chick comes along and she screws with you or she breaks your heart, she has no idea what she's getting into. Nobody messes.
Wow.
I appreciate it, but you ain't got to be so violent.
The ones that hurt you. As long as she's lovable, it's all good. But the minute she makes you cry or she breaks your heart, it's on like no fun.
Oh my Lord.
All right.
All right, moving on. Does anyone else have anything? Or are we closing?
I did all my things, so I got everything checked off on our checklist. Marcus, have you got something?
Hey, don't call me Cinderella.
Listen, all I got to say is we're doing great things over here. Check out his store, because I plan to. Suzy's doing her boss ass stuff over here, and Tim is being a great master. I'm just here for the fun and the smile.
Now, did Timmy mention the popcorn this time?
No,
I didn't hear him say it on air during the show.
When you come in,
I mean,
no parts necessary. You can just come in every day and get popcorn
and just hang out and talk about movies.
Just popcorn. It's like the old-fashioned, like stand up
popcorn machine.
Yep, yeah. I got the big kettle machine. Yep, and I pop popcorn every day.
You know what else he does?
I don't know how you feel about having a big black man as your friend. You did. You just got one today. You don't have a choice. I will be family. I'm a lovable person to have around.
Not one today. Like you guys don't talk all the time.
We do, but listen, popcorn and horror stuff for sale.
I bet you.
I sit here and I watch movies all day long.
I was just gonna mention on your Instagram, you're always like, I'm watching this now. I'm watching this now. Like I think when Val Kilmer passed, you had something going on there.
Marcus, you go to the store, you get your fresh popcorn right when you walk in, and you watch movies while you peruse every kind of horror and sci-fi artifact out there. It's perfect. You could spend. It's like, since we don't have Blockbuster to spend 3 hours at anymore, we have his store.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm about to have a blast.
We have a popcorn eating contest.
I like to savor, because I'm going to get popcorn, shop, and then when I'm registering out and I'm talking to him, I'm going to get another popcorn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that makes a little more sense than just having a popcorn contest. Yeah.
The popcorn machine was my mother's little touch. She decided to add that to the store, so it was a beautiful little touch. Thanks, Mom.
See, Mama.
Yes, Mama G.
Yeah, Mom is listening. Awesome. Yep. Make sure you don't say anything mean like you were earlier, Tim, before we got on the air about your mother. I mean, that was kind of. I was becoming uncomfortable, but
I would never say a word about Timmy's mama. She's a great lady. She's adorable. She loves him so much. You should have saw on graduation day how she was just beaming ear to ear at his graduation. I only remember that because we were all sitting behind her and someone's like, I think that's Timmy's mom. And we were all afraid to say hi to her.
Oh, so she a thug too? You're afraid to say hi?
Oh, yeah. He's like the OG Thuggerella.
Mm-hmm. So that's my mom too.
She's gonna need a hammer too at some point.
That's the thing. My mom don't even need a hammer, so I'm sure his mom don't. It's a look. It's a look.
It is a gavel. It is not a hammer. Anyway, that's it. Everybody hush.
You did a good job imitating the look too. I saw that. I got scared for a minute.
All right, we have gots to goes. Everybody say goodnight so I can, lead us out of here. Unless, Great and Powerful, do you have anything else?
Nope. You're good to go.
All right, everybody, thank you for joining. Please remember to rate us, like us, follow us. We got Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Insta. Share us, help newbies find us. The more people that follow us, the more programming we can do. And as long as we're doing programming, the Great and the Powerful has to keep on enduring my insanity. So share away. Please remember to reach out to us. We got emails, we got DMs, we got whatever. Just find us, like us, love us, follow us, say hi. And until next time, don't let the haters dim your sparkle. Reach for the remote and keep streaming. Good night, everyone.
Good night.